But
coming
are you scared that it's going to continue a lot longer than what is anticipated, or
I'm not scared. I'm hopeful.
you're hopeful it stays like this?
Yeah, I want rates to go up. I'd rather, I would like to see rates continue to go up. Obviously, as a broker, I'd rather make 10 or 12 or 15% on $3,000 as 10 or 12 or 15% on 2,000. So
Yeah.
that makes the market healthier.
Yeah, but like I was just telling a story earlier because I walked into my buddy doing a sales call today, dude, and it seems like these customers are out of touch a little bit, man. Like the shit I heard, like the conversation, like they're still thinking that they can move like some freight for prices that are not going to happen right now, dude, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely been some pushback. I don't know. Again, I would be lying if I told you exactly.
I was just gonna say that.
There's pushback.
I'm experiencing the exact same thing. They're just, I had customers telling me, "Well, what are all the brokers like keeping all the money now, or what?" I'm like, "Are you sure you're not a carrier? What's going on, man?"
Right. So
They just think we're keeping all the money again, and I don't know.
it
Sucks being in the middle.
Yeah, and you just have to. Again, I keep saying the same thing. You have to pivot, right? And we're adding new customers.
I've been challenging them to I've been asking them to just go ahead and shop around. I mean, if they think that the rates, that I'm quoting them are just outrageous and they don't want to pay it, I'm like, you know what? By all means, make some phone calls, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the only problem that that's just not going to work with contracted rates.
Everything is just adjusting to the higher rates still.
Yeah, and we just got to continue doing that. You're not the only ones asking for higher rates, right? Every broker, every carrier, every major carrier.
Yep.
I did not want to be the first person to cry wolf. We teach our team to be willing to take losses and try to really focus on customer service. But you get to a point where the market determines the market, right, Bobby? I mean, brokers don't determine the market, carriers don't determine the market, supply and demand determine the market. Tender rejection determines the market.
14%, bro. That's great. Like, dude, it was like we got to like under 2%. We got to under, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right. So I just see that being. I guess we've seen a new bottom. So sort of we hit an inflection point, and now we're going to see sort of a new floor. And if capacity can, all these. Who went out last week? There was a private equity firm that had 2 trucking companies. I can't remember the name.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't remember the name.
One filed Chapter 11, so they'll probably. But one filed Chapter 11, and they weren't going to.
It was like WFX or something like that, right? Or something like that, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just can't remember who it was. And they're falling out every day, right? It's a new broker or a new carrier.
Yeah, but it's not. Are you worried? Like, because what's worrying me about is a lot of these brokers are going to fall out. But you see, because a lot of the brokers are falling out, and that's going to put financial strain on the carriers, and which in return, if the carrier has a big balance with them, that's going to put even more carriers out of business.
But that's also a correction on that side.
Well, no, I get what you're saying.
Would you say that's also a correction?
Yes, but then it's a ping pong back towards the carrier again. You know what I mean? Because say like R&R went out of business, right? Or they were doing that shit through RXO. So now say like they get some small carrier has $100,000 balance with them, and they're not going to get that money, or if they do, it's going to be years before they could collect or whatever. Now you got now broker went out, and they're going to put an extra carrier or 2 or 3 out of business. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
like their bond is only $75K, man.
Oh, they're not getting nothing from the bond.
Right, Bobby. I mean, I think it's a domino effect. Liquidity means everything. Leverage means everything for everyone. And, there's some brokers that are just a few claims or a few double broker situations, and carriers as well. Diversification on debt load is everything. Diversification on receivables is everything. All that matters right now more than ever. Probably going to be some spots where some guys can restructure some debt. I don't think we're going to see rates drop anymore from a monetary policy standpoint. So we are where we are right now.
And then private equity is not going to bail anybody out either right now, in my opinion, probably, right?
Yeah,
no, they're not going to want to get in.
We're going to just have to use the same terminology again, just pivot with the market and value through service as brokers and continue to build relationships with carriers and customers.
You know what's crazy to me though? I'll be honest. Okay, so you got to think these new trucks, right? You're spending 200 grand, 180 grand on these new trucks, 150 grand. Bro, these payments on these new trucks are $4,500 a month. Bro, that means each week it's $1,000 just to pay your truck, Like the revenue to make the money Like you got to think you're signing this for 6 years to pay this truck. That means you're betting on 5, 6 years of the market to be good for $4,000 a month on
Now
a truck
imagine people
payment.
buy 50, 100 of them at a time.
And so that to me, that's a big risk, you know. So I've had people here in town, like I've had some people return trucks and I'm like, how much is your payment? You know, I go ask these people and they're like brand new Volvos. I'm like, they're like $4,300 a month. I'm like, bro, you're betting on the market being good for 5, 6 years straight. Like, when has it ever been good for 5, 6 years like that? Besides back in the day, like that it's just a big risk, you know.
But there's a way to buy trucks. I mean, if you're just going out and buying 10 trucks and you're working off of the spot market, I mean, you know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna live and die, or you're
No,
gonna,
yeah, I was
you
about
know,
to
I
say
mean,
that too. Like,
you're
usually you should have contracts
you
or
can't
be a
buy
big
trucks that
company.
way. I mean, people who know how to purchase equipment, they're good at it, and they can keep their, you know, their equipment turning. It's super important. I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of what I do. I mean, you know, I bought 2 brand new trucks last year. You know, I'm paying off another couple, and you know, just kind of flipping them and going, because I think that is part of the customer service when you do have a fleet as well. Is you got
Yep.
to keep that equipment, you got to keep it going. You know what I mean? Because the customers are looking for that service, and the only way to do it, in my opinion, is with new equipment. I mean, a lot of guys are against it. Cost per mile is a lot less. I mean, you know, or cost of operation, if you would, you know, warranties. I mean, I get warranties on my trucks till the day I make that last payment is when the warranty's done. I just get rid of the truck, get another one, you know?
So that goes back to debt restructure, some of the debt restructuring some guys have to look at. It all leans back on how much dry powder you got to make it through the tough times.
Yep.
You can
I
be a good
agree.
trucker and or a good broker and be a bad business person.
Oh,
So
well, that's
that's,
trucking. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
that's isn't that part of the problem? I mean,
yeah, of
you got a
course.
lot of guys who know how to do oil changes and they know how to drive down the road and they're safe and XYZ. But when it comes to the business side, I don't know.
Well, you
It's
start
bad.
chasing cash flow rather than profit, and that's when you get called in like a
Sure.
trap.
Yeah,
So and
but
Yeah, most definitely.
that can
It's
happen.
crazy, man. I was looking through some invoices from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I was buying brand new trailers, you know, they were like 44, 48, 49, 46 grand, brand new trailers. You know, now you get them same brand new
like
trailers,
35.
33, 35, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy, you know, like I'm stuck on those
Bro, I
trailers,
remember a
but
utility trailer was like 24 grand, bro. Brand new, bro.
exactly, bro. I remember too.
Dude, holy shit, bro. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Have a payment for $78,000 utility. Don't even remind me.
Yeah, it's fuck. I don't know. It's nuts. But the thing that sucks about transportation too, bro, it's like a huge, you know, like gross, right? Like a big gross factory. So it's like when shit starts going bad, like usually like in transportation and trucking, you have so much money coming in that, you know what I mean, you're able to float out longer if you're doing bad, and then the longer you float out, the more money you get into debt. Which like, and then one day you're just gonna hit a wall, and once you hit that wall, it's over. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's so easy to say and so hard to do, but
Mm-hmm.
you really need to watch your debt ratios, and you need to do everything you can. I mean,
Yep.
I know I'm saying the same thing, but I can't stress enough. You start getting hit with bankruptcies for $400,000 or $500,000, and you have some bad claims, or you know,
Right.
that here and there, here and there. The next thing you know, you can be writing some big checks.
Hey
And
Bradley, can I ask you a question? Are you doing anything with credit lines with your customers? Are you dropping them at all?
while we're watching them, so the first thing we're going to look at, just at a glance model, is going to be average days to pay, right? So if their
Right.
average days to pay are 42, and they've been 42 for 4 years, and they stay around 42, that's fine. I can take 42 days.
Right.
If they start trending up, you know, it's time to have conversations. So
Right.
we try to manage, and then I go back to, you know, I mean, obviously, one of my largest is the Department of War. Well, if they don't pay, we've got bigger problems than just them. So, because they print money. So,
Well, I mean, that's pretty safe money. That's your biggest customer.
yeah,
Then, do you guys use a Sonia, for example, to run credit checks, or what do you guys use to run a
we
credit
did
check?
that with D&B.
Yeah.
We do that D&B.
Which one do you prefer? Out of curiosity, I think, in my opinion, I think a Sonia. I like it better than
Guns and Bradley.
Yeah, we look at them
Guns
both. And Bobby, in full transparency, I have a lady in my office that's really good at that. So I lean on her a lot.
Okay.
But don't you guys use your guys' factoring company to check credit?
I mean, you
I don't
could
do
use.
factoring.
Yeah, I mean, when it
Well,
comes to
a lot of
customers,
people
bro,
do.
I don't.
you
I don't
can't.
factor my brokerage.
Yeah, you can't. When it comes to customer, you can't do that, bro. I mean, some
Oh,
customers they will.
okay. I thought you were talking about for truck.
Yeah,
For
like some customers will have like a credit score, but a lot of times, like when you find a customer as a company, you're usually the one who builds the credit score for them. What's your factoring company?
Yeah.
But you have to really look at deeper, bro. You have to look deeper. I like Ansonia because like it really breaks down everything for you, like in segments, like how much they have like in regular bills, how much they have in 3PL, how many days, how many invoices past 60, past 90, if any. Then it gives you like a score as well too, like like anything like 70 and higher, like 70 and higher is good, and like it's really good, and like you should really check them every like 2 to 3 months as well too, just to make sure their credit score is not going down, so you can catch
Right,
that
and
shit early.
You can also set Google News alerts for those customers. So if they if they're opening a factory, you get an email. If there's some kind of information that they're closing something down, you get an email. Also, you also want to look at who their customers are. Like you can really go down a rabbit trail here.
Right.
If you find out they've got most of their businesses with one customer, and that one customer is having financial issues, it goes back to the domino effect Bobby was just talking about with trucks. So when we have larger credit lines, we start looking at that. Then you start looking at, and you can't hardly ever get it done. Personal guarantees from the owners, the corporate bail. It goes on and on and on. And
Yeah, I
on.
never got that deep. But that's good to know though. Now I know if I ever land on a huge account, that's what I need to do, huh?
Well, not necessarily. It's some of them. We have to start managing customer contracts, right? I mean, these larger guys are going to want 45 days, and they're going to want 60 or 90. And you start talking about that, then you have to start looking at your cost to carry capital. So what's your capital carry costs? What's your margin?
Yeah.
I mean, you can really go down and get really.
Yeah, you see, and all the guys complain about the broker transparency and all that shit. This is shit they don't see. Like the customers that do, like people that do take the customers that are 90, right? Because a lot of people, like when you see in the comments, like on TikTok and Instagram, when they're like, 90 days to pay, they're like, oh, fuck those. We'll never take those. But like, dude, you'd be surprised how many customers are 90 days and they're good customers.
Right.
So they push their weight around.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
don't take
they
that into
always
consideration that, like, hey, you got to figure out a way how to float that money. You either got to take some kind of
Well,
factoring.
that's what the thing is, though. But also, like Bradley was saying, I mean, he's in a position where he could probably, float 90 days.
Well, no,
I mean,
he's saying
I
you have to
know
look.
I'm
He
not.
just said
I
you
mean,
have to look into options. How are you going
right.
to float that money if
Well,
you're
this-
able to?
Well,
if you
this
have
is
to
what
take,
I'm saying. But
yeah,
my point is that if a carrier wants to try to do that, and especially with the mentality that a lot of these guys have, they're not even doing it now for even a 15 or 30 day to, they're just going running to a factoring company. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is part of just, learning how your cash flow moves.
yeah. I mean, we
And
do
then
pretty.
another thing, guys, you got to watch as a broker, and you probably should watch this as a trucking company as well, is if a customer just starts bombing you with freight. So if one of my salespeople, we cold call about 1,200 potential customers a day in the office. So we're constantly calling. We've got 90 something. I've got 90 something people in 58, something like that, or probably so. I'm guessing. Don't hold me to that, but about 50 something people are salespeople. So they're constantly going through our Salesforce system and cold calling. And if someone just gives them freight on the first cold call, a red flag goes up.
Yeah,
Their freight either sucks, they're really, really cheap, or their credit's terrible.
yeah. I don't know about you guys. We always check credit before we take any kind of load.
Yeah, we're going to do that first, right? So that's just like a red flag. So, Bobby, if I just called you and said, hey, I've got 88 loads I need you to pick up tomorrow, you're going to be like, whoa, what the hell's going on?
I'm like, send them over, dude. I'll deliver 60 of them and then keep the other 28 to get my payment.
Right. I'll figure it out.
And then try to store it. No, I know, you're right, because that's the worst, right? When you hit somebody up and then right away they're like, yeah, for sure, here you go. Or if they even try to give you a load before you even getting set up with them, like any kind of like paperwork. I'm like, what the fuck?
You're wanting to get in the bed on the first date. Like,
yeah, right. Like,
talk
Jesus.
a little bit. What kind of person are you?
Dude, it's absolutely crazy what these guys do. But yeah, I hate like any customer that like just puts you on an email list right away and just keeps on emailing you like buzz, and you know you're not going to get anything good from them either.
No, it's a race to the bottom on rates, and it's just there's no loyalty there, and it just this is going to sound cocky, but I know we add value to people's supply chain, and I'm the wrong guy. If you're wanting someone like that, I'll give them a list of brokers they can call. I'm not the guy, and I'm perfectly fine being not the guy. like one of the first questions we ask them, they say, oh, I don't know if that'd even be a good partner for you. Like, we need to have a conversation. I might not be a good fit. I might not be able to add value to your supply chain.
And then do you go with your, like when your salespeople close, like want to land a deal, do you ever fly out and meet people with them, or you just let them do it by themselves usually?
No, we do some of both. We do a little bit of all of it. And it depends on the size of the customer. It depends on where they're at. We've got customers in foreign countries that give us 3 loads a month. Well, we're not going to fly out and meet those. Not
Yeah. It makes sense.
And that's an extreme, right, Bobby? I'm not saying that's the norm. But yes, the short answer is yes. We get in the air. We get on the road, we'll meet them for coffee or something like that and have, conversations and build a relationship. But the next thing we're going to go into is the different services we offer. We're here for LTL, we're here for Sprinter Van, we're here for, expedited, open deck, intermodal, drayage. We have some some international offerings. So I want to really try to get sticky with.
Yeah, that's good. It's good, man. Because right now, I don't know if you're on, but I found we're gonna do like a mass email campaign because I found a guy that does it. He does it for like a reasonable. He actually just wants like percentage of whatever we close instead of just charging for it. But we're gonna start a whole like AI mass email. So all the contacts I've been saving for like the last 12 months, I'm putting them all on one list, and they're gonna do a 4-step email. So what he does is he opens up like domains, and then those domains lead into your main one, so you don't get spam, so you don't get blocked for spam, and then it sends out like the limit for each email. So I'm gonna try like a mass like 60,000 contact blast like starting late next week, and see what happens.
So you'll get some feedback from that in this market. You will, Bobby, because the perception of carriers is different now than it was 2 months ago, right? 3 months ago. All of a sudden, your perception of capacity is different than it was in October. So there's going to be people that get those emails, and you'll be able to convert it to a percentage of something. It won't be a high percentage, but if you're sending out that many, you can. People say,
I'll be happy with like 0.3, 0.4.
Yeah, it's not much. But how many does it take to pay off? You get one customer that becomes profitable, and you make $600 or $800 one month, and then you start building up a relationship, and the next thing you know, you might have a $20,000 or $30,000 a month customer that you're really putting regular carriers on and able to pay fair rates and good rates, and the carrier's happy and the customer's happy. So of that happens.
One will change your life.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Then for me, the next thing I go into with a new salesperson is that is absolutely wonderful. You've got to continue servicing that customer, but you've also got to diversify now. You don't need your book of business to be 80 or 90% one customer. Now, you can't help that in the beginning. That's part of the game. That's part of the initial growing a brokerage. But you don't want any one customer to be 8 or 12% of your book of business. You don't need one guy controlling your livelihood.